We harvested those red onions yesterday and I was actually quite pleased with them. We got really good results, and because of that I decided I want to grow some more before end of year, and they were called Florence Long Red, and that was a new one that we tried this year because we got some seeds from a farmer's market early in the year. So I just need to find those seeds out because I know we've got quite a few left. And I backtracked on my videos, which is the great thing about making these videos. You've always got a record of what you did and when you did it. So I backtracked this morning to see when I actually planted those and how long they took, to see if we've got enough time to grow some more before end of year. And I found that video, and we was transplanting those really tiny little onions into that container at the end of February. So that took 5 months for them to reach the point where we harvested them yesterday. So between now and Christmas there's 5 months. So that works out perfect. We can get another load of seeds sown, and then we can prick them out as little tiny plants and move them on into those wash bowls again. So this time I'm going to sow quite a few more seeds because it's going to be his last chance to get some before Christmas. I've just spotted a couple of more tomatoes on this planting here. Just get them while we can. We've also got these shallots. We've just left them in that shelter for a few weeks now because we want to dry them out. But they're at that point now where they're done. They'll last a bit longer now as well. So we can start pickling these as well. You can see that they've all gone a nice brown colour. All them tops have all dried and thinned out. So I'll get these tops cut off them and I'll pop them indoors and we'll get them pickled. So they're really nice and firm still. We picked these slightly earlier because we wanted small onions. I don't like big pickled onions. So now I'm going to find my seeds out and we'll get a bigger tray this time so we can sow quite a lot of seeds in it. I'm going to use one of these trays today. They're a nice sized tray and they've got lots of holes in bottom as well, so perfect drainage. And then we've got these ones which haven't got holes, so one fits perfectly inside other. So when we need to, we can just pop a bit of water in there, bottom water them, so we're not wetting these seedlings once they emerge. And we can get quite a bit of compost in that. But first I need to sieve my compost, because I always sieve it when we're starting things from seed. It helps those little seedlings push through that bit better. So I'll get that done. I'll find these seeds out and we'll get some more of these Florence red onions sown. That's all been done. So now we can get some compost in this tray. And I'm only growing small plants before I transplant them. So we don't need to fill this container at all. I'll just half fill it and then level it off. I'll just level that down with this piece of wood. We always start with a nice flat surface. Or at least I do. And before I put some seeds on, I'm going to make sure it's nicely watered. What we always do when we start these is cover trays up with cling wrap, because then that's basically a moisture trap. If your seeds keep drying out, they're going to take longer to germinate. So I always make sure it's nice and moist, sow those seeds, and then put that cling film covering over the top, just to make ourselves an homemade propagator. So we've done that, we can get some seeds on now. I was so pleased the way that those red onions came out, because they were quite a good size and they weren't difficult to grow. And as I've mentioned in past, every time we buy red onion sets, they just don't seem to want to bulb up. We always end up with tiny little onions. So we have tried some from seed, which I did show you yesterday, which are still down here actually. And although they're a bit bigger, they're still not huge. But these Florence onions, they grow tall, up to 5 inches, and they're still quite thick. So for me, it's a perfect alternative to regular round red onions. And I'll always go with what works rather than struggle with something that doesn't seem to do what it says on packet. So let's get some seeds popped in here. And these are saved seeds. I didn't save them. We bought them from a farmer's market right at the beginning of the year. Really cheap, but they're own saved seeds. I might have shown you these before, but for any new people that's joined, that's how they come. Normally it's just all black seeds. The black seeds are the onion seeds, and all the white bits is just husks. So you could separate them and just have black seeds, but you might as well just sprinkle them over as they are. So I hope there's going to be enough to grow a decent amount of these onions. And all I'm going to do with them is just randomly broadcast them over the top of here. I'm not bothered about those white bits, as long as there's plenty of those black seeds. And it looks like there's more than you think, to be honest. So I'm just going to put loads on, because I'm definitely buying some more of these seeds next year. And all these individual onions are going to get pricked out and separated. And if it is last sowing at year, we might as well get as many as we can on go. I'll grow them through winter if I have to. I'll just leave them in greenhouse. So you can see there's a load of seeds gone on here. In fact, I'm just going to empty that packet. And I need these to germinate and break that surface as soon as possible, so we can get them pricked out, moved on, and get them growing. So we're using that colander to cover these up. Very fine covering of compost. And I'll just do it till everything disappears. I suppose that's one benefit of having these white shells in there. And that'll do me, that's plenty. And because we want to retain as much moisture as we can, we're then going to water those again. And then we'll use that cling film to make that homemade propagator. And that's that all set up. So that's another job well worth doing on a Sunday. We've got good results from those onions, so why not sow some more, knowing we've just about got enough time to get an harvest before Christmas. And of course that also goes for your spring onions, those pickling onions that we've already done as well. And I would think that quite a few other varieties of onions would reach maturity before Christmas, because the original ones we did were transplanted on 27th of February, and that's probably the coldest time of year. So these are getting a jump start with temperatures. So at least we know that we can secure that final harvest. And I've put that many seeds in here, so we'll probably be able to make up about 4 of those caravan wash bowls full of those amazing Florence, long red, sweet, mild onions. So if you've not already done some, get some sowed. I'm going to leave these in greenhouse as well. After I've transplanted them, they're still staying in here because they're in little containers. We can offer them that bit more at a consistent temperature, so that'll bring those onions on even faster. And we know we've got consistent moisture by using that cling film to make an homemade propagator, so these are not going to dry out while we're waiting for them to germinate. Thanks again for being part of the channel, really appreciate it. And if you're interested in seeing what we're going to be doing next week, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I'll see you then. Take care.